okay? So just, you're in this area, just keep in mind. So we do have the Kansas Reaper. I'm going to do another video on him. As soon as I get Kirkpatrick's out, I'm just, like I said, I really want this video to, it's going to be a short at first. And then I'm going to do one on him, Colonel McComas. And then another lady that's buried, it's a lady that's buried over there in another place. But yeah, my phone might end up overheating because, like I said, it's 102 degrees out here, Fahrenheit. And it's kind of warm. That one looks kind of new. Look at that one. Cool. She loved journalism. Carol Ann Wright, 1953 to January 13th, 2024. Sorry. Oop. Yes, I am incredibly superstitious when it comes to graves. That we don't step on them or do something stupid. In a ghost home or something. So he was Kansas Battery C, 60th Artillery CAC, World War I. Wow. I wonder what the Battery C, 60th Artillery CAC, World War I lingo that I don't know anything about. Then we have Wilfred T. Tresitter is from Nebraska. He was a tech sergeant with the Company D, 359th Infantry, World War II. BSM means... I don't even remember that. But it's a medal. Bronze Star. That's what he got. Purple Heart, PH, and 2 OLCs, oak leaf clusters. So basically, he had a Bronze Star with an oak leaf cluster, and he had a Purple Heart with an oak leaf cluster. So he was wounded in World War II. 359 Infantry. That sounds familiar. More research we have to undertake. But all I see is bro. Yeah, Bronze Star, Bronze Star from America. I don't remember. Let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you. All things pass. God does not change. Patience gains all things. Whoever has God wants nothing. God alone is enough. Saint Teresa. That is cool. Let's see what it says. go back through these videos and then try to get the information on them. And I start kind of looking stuff up. Like the one guy over there, he died during the Meuse-Argonne offensive, right before the end of the war. Tech 5. Back when they had all the funny things for specialists. Used to work with a guy named Hatfield. I always made fun of him. I always kind of kept telling him part of Hatfield McCoy, even though they're nowhere near. Okay. Unique one on it. Jimmy Otis Huff. Vietnam. Yes, he died September 11th. Clean from the cool little fob shower thing. You step out and get him sand all over him. Delno Jenkins, Tech 4 U.S. Army, World War II. People that worked on the planes themselves, flight line. My grandpa was. Right here. And that's part. I mean, we haven't been through that entire section over there or across the street yet. So eventually, I'll get to that whenever it's not 300 degrees out here. Lots of World War II veterans. EM2, United States Navy. W. Jr. F2C, United States Navy Reserve. He died just shortly after the war. He's only 20 years old when he died. Well, he wasn't even 20 years old. Just 9 days shy of his 20th birthday. Frederick Bartlett Jr. June 13th, 1924, died February 2nd, 1946. Tech 5, 108th Infantry, 40th Division. basically looking that up. Davis. I'll write that down. James F. Roberts, United States Coast Guard, September 17, 1945, is when he died. Coast Guard Reserve. Too, because they were catching German ships and stuff like that going through. What a lot of people don't know is he died in 1948. This guy here, he was a AAA gun battery, CAC, which means what he did is either on it was Army, so he would have been probably Coastal Gun Battery. He died one day before this guy right here. And he was a private with the 10th Field Artillery, 3rd Division. Wow. 1948. August 18th, 1948. August 19th, 1948. That's crazy. That is insane. What a coincidence. And they're just like right across from each other. Let's go to that one. Dare to be different. We're gonna go look at that one. That one looks cool. Whoop. That was close. Yeah. F2, United States Navy. George Class. To be different. David Michael Kafka Bowman. Interesting. Son of Susan Greenleaf. Basically listening to the wind blow. Black label. Oh, it's a skateboard. Oh, cool. That's insane that this guy died just a couple days, like a day before that one did, or day after. He died one. I thought it was like right next day they like knew each other and all kinds of fun stuff. But I don't know. Let's see what else we got out here. Whew, okay, I'm not going to give this too much longer. It's really kind of warm out here. That one looks kind of headstone was right there. Graves right there, maybe. And I moved it over there probably because the last storm hit it. I don't know what's up with the bleacher seats, but sure. March 22nd, 1941, United States Army. I wonder if he died during the war. Like, as a direct result, yeah, obviously he died during the war, but as a direct result of the war. So we are going to have, oh, cool. Anita Ferns Evans, 1919 to 1945. Alright, let me get these next couple of graves and start getting that super. Finally got a regular camera, so because I can look up new and cool stories, that's why I'm at graves. Like this guy right here, David E. Early, Purple Heart, died July 11, 2003. At that time, I was sitting in the desert. That is why I'm at a grave. Or a guy over there, his name's Kirkpatrick, that was with the 506 Regiment that nobody knows about. A guy up over there named McComas that was an ace with the 14th Air Force over in China, India, and Burma. That is why I'm in a cemetery. Because I am finding cool stories looking into this stuff. That is the reason why. I can barely see what anybody's saying. Some really cool stories. Now, why I'm out here at 150 degrees is just because I'm an idiot. And that's really the only reason why I'm an idiot. Lloyd M. Roberts. Probably served in both the Great War and the other one. Gosh, it just popped over. Family's kids have one, some of them don't. It's very interesting. I guess pretty much the entire point of what I'm going to try to make this into is just kind of walking around in these places, just kind of getting names, and then hopefully telling their story is what I'm going to try to do. And I'm not going to be as good as like the Fat Electrician on it, or as basically live streams are killing my battery right now. I'm not going to be as good as them until I get like an actual camera that can stream and do all that fun stuff. But it's going to be a start. I mean, there are tons of people here that need their stories told. And that's the reason that I'm doing it. They have one of those electric, let's go look at that thing. We're going to go look at that big one over there, and then I'm going to, go get cooled down. You're old, a fat guy, and you're walking around really hot places. Yeah, it just doesn't really work out. Or in the other cemetery that they have, it's kind of down or around the area where I live. They got a guy that got the Purple Heart for the Battle of Vicksburg because he volunteered to rush the defenses at first, and they basically got slaughtered. Through the video, go look up that lieutenant back there that was killed in 1943. Yeah, look at that thing. So those are one of the automatic thingies. Hi, Kevin. So they plug those in, they automatically go over the graves and do whatever they need to do to keep the grass on the low. This guy was in World War I. Wow. Almost 100 years old. Let's go look at that other big one. This is a big one. How do I miss the biggest there? Like I said, I'm going to try to have that video on McComas out. Not McComas, Kirkpatrick out as soon as I can. I've just been really hesitant on it. World War II, he was a Master Sergeant. John B. Henderson. 1920, 1994. Alvin M. Smith. Okay, so Union Cemetery, or it says Union Cemetery here, is over there. It's one of the other cemeteries I've been walking around in. That's where kind of Medal of Honor winner that's out over there. I got a couple of them I need to start looking up. One with that was out of Vicksburg, and then they had a captain. Battle of Fort Pillow and Bryce's Crossing. He was a company commander for F Company. of the Tennessee Army there. Okay, yeah, it's getting a little warm. My heart's thumping like crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and call this. What does that say? We'll look at that first. First, we're going to look at this because I think it's going to be cool. World War II? Yeah, World War II. And they must have really liked horses. Because that is so cool. Historical research, sightseeing, basically. Because I mean, even walking through this, I've ran into 3 or 4 different stories that I've never heard by 2 guys that lived in this town, and it's just absolutely insane. Like Edward Otis McComas, he was a colonel in the United States Army Air Corps right before World War II started. He was like a lieutenant back in the day. And what ended up happening is after Pearl Harbor, he just kind of quickly gets promoted up to squadron commander of the 118th Reconnaissance. And then he's sent to the Burma India front, where he falls under a command of a guy named Claire Chennault. And if you have seen the Fat Electricians videos, Claire Chennault was a big deal in the Chinese theater. Well, this guy named McComas falls under his command at one point. And in the Battle of Canton, China, whatever he said, he becomes an ace in a day, shoots down 5 Japanese fighters, including 2 that are taking off from a runway. And they're side by side. He shoots at the right one. The Japanese pilot veers to the left and he crashes into the other guy, and they both crash and die. And then they strafe the air base. Him and his co-pilots, his wingmen, strafe the air base and basically destroy it. And that's when Major General Chennault gives them the P-51D variant Mustangs. They didn't have the bubble configuration. They were just regular Mustangs that they used for reconnaissance. And that's what kind of got me started into this. Was him and a guy that a Kansas guy, a native that used to live here, that was part of the 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment, the Band of Brothers. They were Easy Company of this, and I'm wondering if that guy actually knew them, but he died just towards the end of the Battle of the Bulge, like the day before the Battle of the Bulge ended. He was killed by an artillery attack, and his name was Corporal Kirkpatrick, who's up over there. And that's what I'm basically doing out here, finding the stories, and then I'm going to start kind of doing some separate individual videos on them, because yeah, some of them are hard to find information on. Like Kirkpatrick has been incredibly hard to find them. No, I know what you're talking about though, but I have not come across any of these. Some of these guys have been dead for 50, 60 years. But I have seen the coins. I've placed coins on even some of the people that I've served with graves. Coins, but that's about it. Not the half trinket bottles yet. There's one that's he's over there, and he usually has like beer bottles or beer cans all over his. I'm kind of wondering if he liked to drink. Let's see. Yeah. Harold Grace Wortman, he's over in the Union Cemetery. So yeah, Harold Wortman served World War I. Yeah. But yeah, the other cemetery has a whole bunch of a lot of guys that served in the Union Army are over there. They got a kid, he was 15, and he was a bugler for the Missouri Cavalry that was part of the Union Army. So, pretty sure it was. Usually, like, if we lost a guy, we'd be sitting around, we'd do like the Irish tradition, we'd sit around his grave, not his grave, before he was interred. sit around the casket and we'd go drinking around. And yeah, one of the Irish traditions is you sit around it in the grave and you're basically drinking to ward off evil spirits and stuff like that. We were just there to commemorate our friends that died. But yeah, that's what I'm attempting to do. I'm just having a little bit of trouble with my first video because there's just so little information on this guy. Like this one, Private Medical Detachment, 353rd Infantry, 89th Division. He was in World War I. And the 89th was part of the Meuse-Argonne Offensive. But that's what I'm attempting to do. Yeah, another one. Lieutenant O. Robert Messock. He died November 10th, 1943, Army Air Corps. And so what I do is when I do these lives, I go back and I start actually reading the names and I start doing research on them. Because if he was in the Army Air Corps in 1943, so he's either in the Pacific Theater or he's over Europe, basically giving it to the Germans, bombing them during the daylight raids. And that's how I've basically been doing this. It's nothing spectacular, but it's more of, I want to get the stories out. Because there was a bunch of people that I had absolutely no idea. He was over there for the 14th Air Force, and he died in 1954 because he ended up pretty much taking his own life due to the pain that he suffered after he was shot down. Be prepared, which is very sad. Yeah, I gotta look through there's a whole bunch of records I gotta look through. It's just really difficult, especially if they're in Kansas in the 1920s. There's not much about them. Like the Kirkpatrick kid. Basically, I don't even have a picture of him, and I've tried to go to the high school and everything to try to find something on him. I've contacted the family. His brothers and sisters are dead. There's one in a nursing home. She can barely talk, so it's one of those like, okay, we're not going to let this story go. We're going to make sure people know exactly who he was. Especially if you're the support, you're basically the regiment battalion, the support battalion for the regiment itself. So which most likely he knew the guys from Easy Company and Captain Sobel and all those other guys. That's why I want to get that story out, because that's just amazing. So, okay, it is hot, and I'm going to turn this off before my phone fries out. I got a better camera, so hopefully I'll try to get what I can out as soon as I can. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching.